Hi crafters, Karen here, and in today's video it's all about another color cube. And today I am working with color cube number 81. That was what my Google Assistant had chosen for me, and these are the colors that I will be working with. I did bring in my Tim Holtz Distress Oxide. For that rust I'm using the Rusty Hinge, the artichoke is the Forest Moss, the gold is the fossilized amber, and then the orange is the ripe persimmon. And I'm going to be working right on my card base today. In fact, I'm going to be doing a technique where I do need my masking tape. I will be creating a 4-panel card with ripped or torn edges. And you'll see what I'm talking about as we move through the video. So to create those 4 panels, I will be doing some ink blending, and I'm going to be layering some stamps and some stencils on those panels. So I will be using that noted stamp, the top one, and then I will be using the music notes. And then for my stencils, I will be using the Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous, that top flourish part of the stencil. And then I have this Sweet Rush 3-piece stencil set from Vicki Boutin, and it comes with flowers, triangles, and then these circles with those tiny dots in the middle. Kind of reminds me of buttons, so to speak. And that's the one I'll be using with the project. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started. I bring in my card base and I have it already pre-cut and scored. And now what I'm going to do is take my mint tape and I'm going to tear it a little bit, like either in half or maybe just tear off a little bit. It doesn't matter how wide you want the strips or how narrow you want the strips. It's really entirely up to you. And then those will be my border around the perimeter of the card. Now I do want to say that I was inspired to make this card today from Natasha Foote, and she is also on YouTube. She's a great crafter, and you can check out her video. I'll have it linked in the description box below. But when I saw her make this card, I thought, ooh, definitely need to try it. I continue tearing the mint tape and place them on the borders of my card. And now I'm going to take more mint tape and create the pieces that you'll see on the top, the bottom, and then I will also space them out to create the 4 panels. And again, you can make these strips as wide or as narrow as you want. You can tear as much as you want. You don't even have to tear if you don't want to. I really liked the finished look with how they look when it's teared. Now you can see that I have the 4 rectangles there, or the 4 panels, and the mint tape is also going to act as masking. So I'm going to take each of my colors and I'm just going to lightly ink blend each section with each of the colors. And I want to go pretty lightly. I don't want to go too heavy because I will be stamping or stenciling over the colors, kind of like a tone-on-tone effect. And this is a little bit of a challenge for me only because I tend to have a heavy hand when I ink blend. And honestly, I thought I did pretty well with my ink blending today, going kind of like on the lighter side. And I just take my last 2 colors, my fossilized amber and my rusty hinge, and I get those last 2 layers blended in. And once I have that done, now I'm going to bring in my stencils and my stamps, and I'm going to either stamp or stencil on each of those panels. I do bring in some Post-its because I want to mask off the areas where I don't want the stencil or the stamp to go. And then I just pick part of the stencil, I bring in my brush, I bring back my ink, and then here I'll go a little bit heavier because this is what I want to pop off the card. And you can see that I'm just going back and forth, clockwise, anti-clockwise circles to get that stenciling in there. And then once I have that done, I kind of look at the end and I see that there's a little bit of some empty space, and I just rotate the stencil, turn it, and just add a little bit more there to the end. And once I have that first color done, then I will proceed and do the same thing with the other 3 panels. And you'll see now I will move on to a stamp. So the top layer and the bottom layer will be the stencils, and then the 2 middle layers will be with my stamps. So that second piece, I am bringing in my music notes stamp, and I'm just going to stamp the ripe persimmon onto the stamp. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that word correctly. I'm not sure how to say that, and I'm just saying it the best way that I know how. And again, I will add more of the post-it notes to cover the areas where I don't want that stamp to be marked. And then I lay it on the space, I press down, and then I will have the music notes as that second panel. And you can see that when I'm stamping or stenciling, it definitely does show up darker, and that was why I went with the lighter hand with the ink blending of each of the panels. And now I'm moving into the fossilized amber, and I'm going to bring in the other stamp, the noted stamp, and I'm using that top one that I had out of the 3. And you can see that there was an open space there on the end, and I just added more ink and just added more to cover that space. So now I'll bring in that last stencil, and I'm just going to take my rusty hinge and I'm going to ink blend that on there, and then I get to the end and I just turn my stencil to get those last bit of dots there. Now all I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove the middle portions of those strips, and you'll see that that's where it was all masked. And then once I have all that removed, I'm going to bring in my leaf canopy stamp set, and I'm going to stamp over these 4 panels. So I bring in my Misty, and I will have layer the card on the inside, and the the mint tape will help hold the card base down in place. And then I will use the leaves that you see that are it's not the dark ones, it's kind of like the outline of it. And I chose that one because when you see that how it stamps, I wanted the images from the stenciling and the stamping to kind of pop in behind the leaves to give it that, I guess, that special kind of look. And you can see that I have a spot there on the bottom, towards the bottom, where the stamp didn't ink, and I'll show you how I fix that in just a minute. I'm going to get my sentiment out. You are the best, and I'm going to get that stamped on there. And I just decide that it would be best to stamp it on the white off of those colored panels. And that is, so far, how it looks right now. And now I'm going to show you how I fix that spot on that leaf. So I have the Micron 5 marker or pen, and I just bring that in and I just fill it in, and I just close that opening. And you can't really tell that that was a pen that was being used. And now I just bring in some of my sparkly diamond dots, and I'm going to place these on the card to finish off the card. And this wraps up another video, and this is my finished card. And I hope it inspires you to go ahead and try color cubes. And if you have them, awesome. I hope you'll give them a try. And until my next video, I hope your day is a crafty day. Take care. Bye-bye.